Hello everybody, and welcome to Paths Not Penned. I'm just gonna click play, we're gonna get right into it. Now, I'm not terribly good at self-promotion. I only have to do self-promotion because, well, that's just a part of game development, is promoting yourself. And I made this, so I figured, you know what, I'll just play it a little bit, and that's how I'm gonna promote it. So yeah, it's pretty simple. It's a little roguelike. You know, you run around. It's all sprite based, and I wanted to make it so it looked like it was like a parchment map. So everything kind of fills in here. Like this is the map that you're on, and the dungeon itself is procedural. It randomly generates as you go, and it's technically infinite. Sometimes it can generate in a way where it has like limits. And that is funny, but can be kind of annoying, because you actually can talk to the little stone guy there at the entrance and ask him to rearrange it if that happens. But most of the time, the logic dictates that it generates infinitely forever, and so it'll just keep growing and growing and growing as much as you want. And it's, you know, that's kind of fun. I like procedural generation. I was actually working on procedural generation for Cosmic Ocean, because when you landed on planets and stuff, I wanted those to be infinite. They probably won't be in the final game. I'm probably going to do set environments, but I'm going to make them big. Just for simplicity's sake, and also because I'm going to have the terrains. I'm going to be using a, I think it's called like World Engine. It's a program that generates terrain. And I've been meaning to get it for years, and I keep not doing it, but I should probably just get it and start working on Cosmic Ocean, because I do want to start getting more done on that. But in the meantime, I was working on this, because I do small games on the side as like a side project while I'm working on any other project, because it helps me prevent burnout. And I was really grooving off this. Like, the major inspiration for this one was Risk of Rain, because I love Risk of Rain 2. I play it all the time. I like how in that one you can just keep collecting items and they stack, and you can make builds that are so messed up that it crashes the game. I love that. So there's a lot of that in this. I didn't want to make it, you know, exactly like Risk of Rain. So, you know, the enemies don't give you money. They give you experience points, which you can pay for various things. But you have to buy items from the lizard out front, and the shop cycles, but she's the only way you can get them. Although I might add a system later on where you can get them rarely in the actual dungeon, but we'll see. I'm still working on the next big update that'll add a lot more stuff, because right now it's playable. There's stuff you can do in it. You can explore the map. Like, everything works, but it does feel, in my mind, it does feel a little sparse, and I kind of feel bad about that. But again, this was mostly an art project. I wanted to make a map, or like a game that felt like you're on a map, like a fantasy map, and all the sprites and everything have to fit within that kind of context. And originally, when I made it, nobody had color. Like, it was all just the same kind of beige. And I didn't like that. So I actually redid some things, and I gave more contrast to the main character here. And I started adding some colors to the enemies and the gold and all that. But I tried to make sure to use colors that felt like they were still like matte pigments. You know, so like they weren't like super vibrant, but they look like they could be on a parchment. Like this blue, it still has like the texture of the parchment in it, so it still feels like it's been painted on, you know, or at least that's what I was going for. I don't know if that came through, but we will see. Everything's just sprite cyclers. The fire here is a sprite cycler. The character's running animation is also just a sprite cycler, and I'm actually kind of pleased with the running and attack animations, because they were about 3 weeks of work just to get this fellow moving around like this. Because when I first started making this, my primary area of like talent in game development is 3D modeling. I make 3D models and objects. And I don't do 2D sprites. Like, I do draw sometimes, but I usually draw, like, schematics and diagrams. I don't draw people very much or very well. But what I can do is 3D animation or 3D modeling. So what I did for our little fellow here is I actually sculpted them. Like, I have a 3D model of them in the folder that has all the assets. So I just quickly sculpted them. It was very basic. I didn't do any detailing. I just made the cloak and the horns up top. And then I put an armature on them, and I went and grabbed a running animation from, I think it was Mixamo, like one of those free sites, and I slapped it on them, and then I just basically screen capped frames of that running animation from all different angles. And yeah, that's basically how I got the consistency, because I also use like the grease pencil tool in Blender to give them a black outline. However, a lot of the lines here aren't from that. Like, the grease pencil outline was more a guide, because once I got all of the images of them in, you know, the various poses, I then had to clean them up myself and fill out the lines, color it in, and then give them like the outline for each frame. And I think there's like 8 frames per direction. I'll have to go back and check. It was a lot of work. And if I was actually good at drawing just by hand, I could have just done all of the sprite work in one go. But because I wasn't confident in my ability to do that, but I still wanted to make it myself, I just took the roundabout route of making a 3D model and transcribing that into 2D by hand. So I basically made a model and just drew over it myself. So I did make them. This is all me. I just had to take the roundabout and convoluted way of, yeah, using Blender and 3D modeling. And it's actually kind of a fun thing, because there's a lot of people out there who think they have no artistic talent, or like, oh, I can't draw, so I have to do other stuff for me. It's like, there's always options. There's always options. Like, even if you can't draw, like, super good, it doesn't matter. You can still draw. Drawing is a fundamental human thing. And if you, like, legitimately struggle with that, but you want to make consistency, then there's workarounds. You can get, like, online, there's a ton of resources for, like, 3D posing models that make consistency really easy. Like, they're basically like mannequins that you pose, and you can use them as art references, or you can draw over them. It's great. So honestly, art finds a way, you know, to coin a phrase. Let's head back to the entrance and go see if I can buy something, because I have an unlocked area, but I don't have an effect tile, and I also need to get some health because I'm getting beaten up by slimes and mushrooms. The enemies do get harder with time, and new enemies do start spawning the longer you play. That is one mechanic from Risk of Rain that I did borrow, is just like, the longer you go, everything scales, and after a little while, new enemies start spawning that are more difficult, and the existing enemies gain health and damage. So it essentially goes on until you're just overwhelmed and you die. Like, I made sure the game is set up in a way that you can't really win. It's just a matter of how long can you survive for, what kind of builds can you make. There is no out. Now, I've thought about making win conditions, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I still might, but I kind of like the arcade. You know, you just go until you're knocked out, kind of thing. I also didn't want to do guns. I was like, nah, guns are a little overused, so I went with a little magic sword. It's called the Mana Sword. It's kind of like a well, it's like if a lightsaber was a mace, I suppose, that only activated when you swung it. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. Oh my goodness, okay. Yeah, the lore in this game is pretty shallow. There is lore to it, but it's, I didn't want to just do tons and tons of it. This is pretty much an, what's the word? Kind of a response to, ooh, dragon. This is kind of a response to Flank Speed, because Flank Speed was a failure. That game did not do well. Do I even have enough to buy? I do. Oh no, I don't. Because Flank Speed was overly complicated, and it just, I made a lot of poor design decisions in it. So I decided with this one I wanted it to be simple. And it is simple. Like, there's a lot of items, and they do stack and interact and stuff, but it's not complicated. It's very intuitive. And the controls are very simple. Like, it's left mouse click. Some items use right mouse click, and some items use spacebar, but it tells you which button they use. There aren't, like, a ton of hidden stuff. Tab opens up the booklet. Like, it's... I wanted it to be simple and easy to get into, because Flank Speed was a bit of a mess, and yeah, I do plan on eventually fixing Flank Speed, but not right now. I want to work on Cosmic Ocean for a bit, because like I now have a bunch of stuff I want to work on that I've learned through the course of all this that I want to implement into Cosmic Ocean. And I'm tired of it sitting there for 6 years, being very slowly put together. Because, yeah, it's been 6 years. Well, it depends. 6 years since I started making the current iteration. I did technically start making an older iteration of it a long time ago when I first started playing around with Unity. But that was so different from what Cosmic Ocean is now that I kind of don't really consider it part of that. Oh man, I didn't have a terribly good, like, seed this time. Because I'm already at 11 minutes, and I don't even have a second unlock, so I'm not getting a lot of gems, because the gems are what I need to unlock more effects. And I'm not getting a lot of gems. I might have to just go and buy a bunch from the wizard. Because the wizard sells gems and keys. The keys are used for keeps, like little dungeon rooms that need to be opened up, and there's usually a boss monster in there. Oh, oh man. Yeah, we're not getting any harder enemies, but we are getting more spawns, so I'm clearly not using my time well. However, I am getting a lot of experience points, which I can... oh my god, I can use to buy gems. So, I should probably run back to the shop and do that, because the prices in the shop also scale. I might reduce how much they scale, because it does feel a little unfair at times. Although I do want the game to be punishing. I don't want it to be super, super easy. So we are going to run back. I'll just pretend I don't see that slime. Or that one. I did see that jar, though. I should have grabbed that. I didn't. Oh man, my health. I also need to get more health. Yeah, this has been a little bit punishing. Actually, wait, how much are... There's still 15, okay. Buddy, I need... 11, 12, 13, 14... Oh, I don't have enough. Oh, that's so sad. And I can't even buy more health. Can I buy anything now, just so I have it on hand? You know what, the sweep's pretty good. I can't pick it up, I don't have space for it right now, but once I go and get enough gems, I can... Ah! Oh my goodness. Now these little dragon friends are cool, but they can stack, so I can actually have as many as I want. And in testing I had 10, and that was quite amusing, because they would just like eat through these low-level enemies. The dragon was an interesting sprite to make, because I didn't make a 3D model for them. So like, a lot of the enemies, I just did like, they're just 2D. Like the mushroom was very easy to do, the slime was easy to do. The dragon, what I basically did was I went onto Google and I looked up a bunch of just little fat lizards, like Komodo dragons and bearded dragons. Mostly bearded dragons, because I've seen some fat and adorable bearded dragons. And I was kind of like using them as reference. Well, I'm not going to survive. And I was playing around with it. I did more like, you know, conventional dragon faces, but I didn't really like how they looked. And so I was thinking, I was thinking about it, and I realized the How to Train Your Dragons had dumb faces, and I loved that about them. So I kind of made a squished face dragon with a short snout and just kind of a, you know, big eye, squished head. And I thought that it looked so stupid that I loved it. So I made the little dragon friend, this dumb little squished face critter. Although his body is ostensibly a stylized bearded dragon. Like he's not like drawn over a bearded dragon. Oh, but the little stubby legs and the posture, I was inspired by a bearded dragon. And despite being a freehand drawing, I actually think they came out pretty okay. I mean, it's hard to mess up dragon wings, like they're basically just bat wings. But I was worried that he would look crappy, but no, the little dragon looks great. I'm actually very happy with how they came out. Oh, these were also freehand, the wheels, but again, they're just geometry. And the tentacle was also freehand. Oh, but it's just a tentacle. It would be very hard to screw up the tentacle. In fact, I got the tentacle done in maybe 6 minutes. Like just doing all the poses and stuff for that one, because the tentacle will actually hit you depending on your direction. Ugh! Oh, I'm not very good at this. But yeah, whatever. That's Paz Not Penned. It's out now on Steam. Go check it out. I made it $2. Well, $2.99. It's cheap. I don't like the idea of making games expensive, because I don't feel like my games are good enough to be more than like $2 or $3. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Go check out the game. Or not. It's up to you.